Today's guest has charmed the world for 2 decades, reminding us that being nerdy is totally cool. You may know her from her roles in Supernatural, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog, and honestly, the list can go on and on. But she's also founded Geek and Sundry and created the web series The Guild, which is about to celebrate its 20th anniversary. And to commemorate the legacy of this series, the incredibly talented Felicia Day is here to talk about the upcoming The Guild film and how she's bringing it to the fans through Kickstarter. Thank you so much for being here today, Felicia.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to talk about my movie. It's going to be great.
I just want to begin by saying congratulations on 20 years of the Guild. It is so incredible to create something that has such a lasting impact such as this. How does that kind of feel?
I mean, it is 19 years, so we're trying to make the movie to release for our 20th anniversary. So just not to age me too much, but
Sorry.
whatever. It is almost 20 years. It feels amazing. The last couple of years when I go to conventions, I have met people who have shown me pictures of them when they were like a teenager, and now they're an adult with a kid with them. And the fact that I can have sustained a career doing what I love in the areas that I love, and the areas that I love have grown so much, and I can still hang on. It is just a joy, and I'm just excited to make this movie as sort of a last stamp. Hopefully not a last thing, but just like the last biggest stamp. Because boy, is this Kickstarter a lot of work, but it's going to be really cool.
I have to say that I started watching this when I was about 15, like very early on.
Yeah,
I'm 34
yeah.
now. So I was, and so to hear when it was coming back, and I was just like, it was incredible. The nostalgia factor kicked in. I was like, this is so cool to see something that you loved so much return. And obviously, I mean, people are responding to it so well.
Yeah.
But going back to that first, the original, The Guild, what kind of sparked the idea to decide to bring The Guild to screens?
Well, I mean, I was just rejected a lot in Hollywood, and I was addicted to World of Warcraft. And I had a group of women that I met with to talk about career, wins and losses every week. And I finally got guilted into writing something for myself as an actor. And I ended up writing about online gamers. When I showed it to Hollywood people, they were like, I don't understand. How do you game with people online? I mean, this was so early. This was before the iPhone. YouTube had just started. And one of my friends in the group was, she was my sketch writing teacher. And she was like, hey, I filmed a couple sketches and put them on this new thing called YouTube. Let's just film and put it up. And I was like, us film? What? And it was really scary. I will be honest with you. It was not, I would never have done it without the support of Kim and Jane, the director. But when we started doing it and I got my first comments, I was like, oh my gosh, after so many years of being rejected, I have people who like what I do. I just want to keep doing this. And so that's how my career took a big, big turn. Every acting opportunity I've had that people know me from now, except for Buffy, has been a door opened because of what I did on the web. And so, yeah, I'm just so glad to be able to get the gang back together and just put a little exclamation mark on our legacy.
I do have to say that, like, this was the project I met you on, and I was just like, I still to this day haven't watched Buffy. It's one of the things that my friends are like,
It's okay.
But it's one of those things where, like, this was the one I was like, oh, and then I saw you Supernatural, and like all of a sudden you were everywhere. You were doing all these incredible things, but it's kind of cool to have The Guild to be that first project that felt so like personal, I would assume, as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I'd just been rejected so much, and I was like floundering around. If I cut my hair, will they like me? If I put glasses on, will they like me? And when I said that I was a math major, I love video games, like there was no part for me in Hollywood. There still wouldn't be. Like there's nothing out there for women like Codex 20 years ago or me 20 years later. Like it's just a weird blind spot, especially with women. They'll put gamers on there, but they're always those cliche gamers. Or there may be a dad gamer, but like, God forbid, a mom could game. It's just so irritating. But at the same time, yeah, I showed the world who I was, which is not standard. And so many people responded because, again, unless you put representation out there, people don't feel seen. They don't feel accepted. They don't feel acknowledged. And so by doing that, especially the creator side of Hollywood, we're like, oh, that girl's cool. I want her type on my show. So that's really all the benefit of my career came from just taking a leap and just showing people who I was. And I encourage everybody to do that with their creativity.
And not just that, when you think about the impact it's had, like granted, being 15, I don't remember a lot from that time per se, but this is one of the first projects I remember. And then it felt like all of a sudden there was all kinds of, there was tabletop RPG games. And like this felt like the first time that we really felt represented as like a population of like nerds. It's okay to be nerdy and it's okay to be geeky and that's cool.
Absolutely.
And so that's one of the things I love about this series is that it made me feel like I was seen. in a way that
Aw,
I've never been seen before.
that means so much to me, and it's also a running theme in everything I do. Yeah, when I did my company Geek and Sundry, we were the first people to, do tabletop gaming on a more polished level, and I was told by so many soup people that that's not gonna work. Long term won't long form won't work on on YouTube. It won't work. You shouldn't do that show. It'll be the bomb. And then later when I wanted to do live streaming of D&D on Geek and Sundry, which turned into Critical Role, I was told, "Oh, that's not gonna work. Nobody wants to watch that." And, like, I don't know what to
Here
tell
we are.
you. Here we are. I kinda got used to being told that my ideas were not cool by mainstream people because I know that and when I go to conventions, I see the people who will enjoy what I do, so, like, screw them. Screw the mainstream, it's fine. We can make a movie without them.
For sure. And speaking of the movie, so you are reuniting for the Guild film, which is so exciting. But how does it feel to kind of return to this world after so many years?
It was so fun to be able to get into these characters' heads again. It was a long I burned out very badly, like, psychologically, it was pretty a difficult time when I ended the show. It was kind of a budget thing, you know? At that point, web series were not making money, and people just were like, "Hey, I can advertise against a hamster looking around. Why should I fund high budget
Sure.
content on the web?" Yeah, so it was kind of like this weird dip. And strangely enough, now with Obsessions and Backrooms and Markiplier's movie, feels like now it's finally reaching the point where like, yeah, this independent content, that's where the cool people are. And, it's a complete coincidence, but it's really cool that we might be able to make a movie on a movie budget with these characters who have lasted so long in the zeitgeist. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I love the characters. The script is just awesome. I'm so proud of it. It makes me laugh. It made the rest of the cast laugh when we had a read through, and we have a lot of fun in store when I announce, especially where it's set and what's going to happen. A little bit of it on July 20th when we
That's
launch.
so close.
So close.
When you like, what decided to come back for this? Like, because you had set them aside for a little bit, and so something drew you back into wanting to come back to the guild. What was it that was like, this is the time?
Yeah, it was the 20th anniversary. I had just had a baby for our 10th anniversary, so I wasn't really able to do anything to celebrate the show properly. Um, and I got a call about a year and a half ago from a Hollywood executive who was very sweet. And I was kind of excited because basically the guild, other than the first year, has been ignored by Hollywood, like nobody
Yeah.
ever wanted to option it or give me a budget to do anything. We shot it in our houses the whole time. I never had a full-time employee other than, it's me and my producer.
You're
So
right.
we did it on such, for 6 years on no money and we just kept going, thank God. And so I was kind of excited. I was like, oh, they want to do the show again. And they wanted to reboot it with younger actors. And I got so angry. I was like, I literally had like a moment where I was so furious. I'm like, well, what can I do about this? I can make a
Right.
movie and I could do it around this I could just do it around this institution. So it's a little anger and spite. It's also love of the characters and having a great idea that I had fun with writing. And it really is a combination of all that.
I mean, that has to be very aggravating to be like, why not us? You know, we were the ones that made this project. We did it special. You put your blood, sweat, and tears into it, and now you want to just reboot it with somebody else?
Well, I think in my 20 years of Hollywood and kind of banging my head against it, all the things that I achieved were great. It never opened doors there, except with
Mhm.
creators writing me roles. And I think I got to the point where I'm just like, I have stories to tell, and there's so many other ways to tell them. I've done an Audible series called Third Eye. I've done an Audible movie. I did a movie that I just recorded myself and released because I wanted to do the movie, and I just was like, I'm not going to wait for money. So, and I'm writing. I wrote a graphic novel. I have a novel I'm working on. There's so many ways to tell stories, and I think I got to the point where I'm like, "You know what? My stories are great for me, and they might not be good for you, Hollywood, but that doesn't mean they shouldn't be told." And that's what's so amazing coming at anything as a creator now. There's just ways to reach audience. You don't need it. It would be
Sure.
nice to have millions of dollars to make a movie. I mean, we're gonna have a lot of money to make a movie, but it'd be nice to have the support to not have to do the work on myself, but you know what? I'm willing to do the work.
And I love that you're creating a space where people are being represented that, like you said, like, why isn't there more mom gamers and stuff like that? And, there are
Yeah.
people who we're all getting older, unfortunately, and it's like, these are the things that, like, we still love to do this. I still love to play D&D. I just played Magic the other day,
Oh,
we like to get
love it.
together and we like to do this. And so it's
Yeah.
cool that you're creating this space for them.
Yeah, it's all about, I mean, just obstinance, really, and also determination that, you have to have faith in yourself, first of all. You have to have faith in yourself that what you have to say is important to you, first and foremost, and might have an impact on the world. And then you just have to have the resolve and the meaning in what you're doing to get to the end because creating is freaking hard. It's really, really tough. Nobody's like, I love everything I do, writing. No, it's torture. But you gotta find that motivation inside yourself to get you to the end. And then there's just so many ways to impact people with what you have to say. So I don't know. I would never wanna work in any other venue. This is the place for me.
So when you're kind of working on the story, and granted, we're not going to spoil anything, obviously, but
Yeah.
do you
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
like your understanding and relationship changed with these characters now that you've had like more life experience? Things have changed as well.
Yeah. Well, I certainly had to think about how to make the movie relevant. I had to think about what gaming is now, where these characters might be many years later. Yeah, it was a lot to think about, and also still retain the fun of the show and the spirit. Um, you know, That's why I didn't even bother taking this movie to Hollywood. Like, I don't need other producers who don't know anything about gamers or the show
Sure.
to run their numbers and look at the stats and be like, "Well, I can give you this much, but you have to change these 17 things." I'm like, "No, I'd rather not." So that's
You want
why
to make it
Kickstarter.
what you are.
Exactly, and in 2008, I put a PayPal button up on the website that we had, and we finished season 1 with viewer donations. We were one of the I believe that we're the first crowdfunded on the internet thing before Kickstarter even started. So to be on Kickstarter now doing my own project for the first time, it's just a real gift. So, yeah, I think people will like it and I hope they support it and I hope we get to make it and actually have somebody else do craft service. That would be really great.
Well, you think about it, there's already 24,000 people that are interested in it that have liked it and followed the project. So there is such a fan base that are ready to see this come to fruition after all this time.
That's the real irony. Like when I was doing tabletop back in the day, 200,000 viewers, we get the first couple days. And that wasn't good enough for Hollywood to like do more, you know? And yet, look what we could do. If we get 50,000 backers, we have a movie with a great budget and we could bring the movie to life in the way that I envision. That's that's that number is nothing to Hollywood, but the power is so strong with the fans to make things happen. And so, I think it's really inspirational. You don't have to have millions of people to be able to make something successful. And that's what I've always believed in. My community has gotten me here over the years through depression, through physical problems. Like that's why I'm still here. And I think that's a good lesson as a creator. Less but more engagement is just the key to everything that's good and long term and as a creator in life.
And what I love about this too is it also kind of brings parallels to what the guild is about community and people, and you're all coming
Yeah.
together to bring to life this project. That's kind of in line with the message of the guild.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. And it's really important to me. I don't consider my creativity something I want to hoard. I certainly could have been much more business savvy and at certain points in my life, but I kept the IP for the show. So this is possible now only because when I got fancy people approaching me to buy the rights to it, I was like, well, do you know what the fans want? Do you know the
Right.
heart of the show? Do you know why we're here and why this is successful? Because, just to work with somebody fancy, maybe make a little bit of money, like that's not good enough for me. This means something more to me. And I hope the movie is kind of a celebration of that. Cause you're right. We could do things together against all odds, against the suits. We could do it.
So you mentioned that kind of the idea of 50,000 followers or backers would be fantastic. But as we hopefully get more and more, do you feel like there's push goals that would happen for the film with more and more backers?
Yeah, so we do have 24,000 people following the page before we launch. That is the number one followed movie, I think, in Kickstarter history, they told us.
That's
So
incredible.
it's very exciting. We will see how we grow and build up into the 20th and then beyond. We definitely have stretch goals. I will say that movies are very expensive, right? And
Yeah,
so
for sure.
you will start with an initial goal that'll be a version of the movie we want to do. And if we'll hopefully get more money so that we can build the vision and have more production value and costumes and all of that. It'll be step by step. But this is so weird to plan for Kickstarters because we are planning for a disaster scenario. What happens if nobody donates? And what happens if so many people donate? We have extra money, and what are we going to do with it? We have those both covered. And of course, my dream scenario is to do more than just the movie. But
Sure.
you know what? I have to temper my expectations and be like, just do it. You've done the best you can. Let's see what the fans want.
Well, I hope that they all turn out for this because, again, this is so incredible. This is a project that everybody should be looking for. And I think that this is the way to move forward with creative projects as well.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you.
but for those who maybe are looking for more information about the project or where
Yeah.
they can back it, where's the best way to kind of get information about that?
Yeah, if you sign up at watchtheguild.com before the 20th, when we launch at 8 a.m. Pacific, you will get a free pin that will be sent to you if you later back at a physical level. So if you pledge and get something physical sent to you, you get the free pin only if you sign up before the 20th. So get over there, put your email in, it's free. Cover your bases. And then after that, we'll be on Kickstarter, but always watchtheguild.com will be a place that will direct you to the best place for to interact with us.
Well, thank you so much, Felicia, for being here and chatting with us today. It's been an absolute pleasure, and we are so excited for the Guild film to arrive. So thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
being here.
Ryan. Thanks.
And as Felicia said, you can get more information about the Guild movie at watchtheguild.com. So sign up now and don't miss out on the fun.